Alright guys, well, I don't know who of you has a bandsaw like this. It's like a 7x14 or 7x12. This one just so happens to be a clutch. It is a 7x12. It is a clutch brand. Let me put this light over here. I was just trying to get a little more light in here. But I'd been using it a while and it was making a weird noise. Well, it actually ended up cutting the blade cover. So I wondered what was going on, and then it started slipping. Well, this pulley looked like it was out a little ways, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? So when it stopped slipping, or it started slipping and it wasn't running anymore, I pulled the gearbox apart. Let me hang on. Let me throw a knob in that just to hold that down. Put this cover just loosely like that so I can fold this thing down and kind of show you guys what the heck's going on. Let me move that gear. That is the gear out of the machine. Flip the lever. Try to do all this one-handed. I got the blade off of it, everything else, but I'll show you guys what I found. So I don't know if you know this or not, but all these things are basically the same bandsaw with a few different little parts. At least that's what I've been told by 2 or 3 other tool guys that I trust. I'm trying to get some lighting here. I found my gear was sitting, it was still on the shaft. The keyway was sitting inside here, and the shaft was halfway out of the dang bandsaw. And then I found this that snap ring in the bottom of the gearbox. Yes, Gearbox has oil in it, so make sure if you take yours apart that that you are prepared to catch some oil. So I thought maybe I would try to show you guys. I haven't tried to put this back together yet. I feel like I just pushed the shaft down. Yeah, I have nowhere for you guys to sit where you can see things. Maybe right there. We're working there. Okay. Yes, the shaft did fall. Let's see if we can at least, let's pull a cotter key or the keyway out. That was that direction. Why can't they get that back on? That might be why that gear's, and my gear is beveled. That's not worn that way. It's actually machined that way. Let's see. Need like one more hand. I think. Probably got people yelling at me. Do this, do that. I think I need to get, well, it's got a lot of metal on it. I probably ought to clean my bandsaw before I take my bandsaw apart. But it's one of those things, I was like, what in the heck's going on with this? And I took it apart. Here, this is where we're at. And now I'm doing a video. Now I have the gear wedged on there. Okay. Probably need to take the cover off so I can get that to come out more than what it is. That shaft. Let's see if we can get that shaft most of the way down there. There's a little blocking ring, spacer, whatever. That goes on first. I'll try to just get the snap ring on and maybe everything will be good. telling me? I know it wasn't that way. That'd be spaced up too much. I don't know why it won't mesh enough to get over there. I don't think it was that way. Maybe it was that way. No, it's way off now. I know it was that way. Let's see. No, that's not happy. What on earth? How in the world? How in the world do you get that back on? How in the world? Let's get that shaft all the way down. Why does that keep cocking on there? Help me out, guys. What am I doing wrong? Get that shaft almost all the way out. Let's see. There we go. There we go. All right, you have to get the shaft all the way bottomed out. It's not happy going on that shaft. And I think it's just because that keyway just got knurled up a little bit. It's one of them times you need somebody on both sides. You need everybody everywhere. May have some tubing in here, but I need to get the gear all the way down. That's what it is. There's a little rough spot on that shaft where that keyway was. Or maybe if I loosen the bolt on the shaft and get the shaft through more, maybe that's what we're dealing with. Because the pulley bolts to the other side of the shaft. So let's investigate that. All right, hang out. All right, I've got the bolt loosened up. Okay, that worked. That worked. Of course I can grab snap ring pliers, but this doesn't feel like the highest of quality of snap rings. I can probably, well, and that being said, maybe I need to put a different snap ring on it. May need to go grab a pair of snap ring pliers out of the other toolbox. Nope, none needed. Alright, snap rings back on. Alright, now we'll have to tighten that pulley back up. Do that. well, I would say, I mean, that is positively affixed again. I'm going to clean this up. I'm just going to silicone my cover on. Alright, well, I've got that all back together. I think I had that on camera. This plate, this cover plate, was on there with this, I assumed was a fill plug up top. Well, everything I looked at, you're supposed to use GL4. I got this at O'Reilly's. Yes, I had to buy a gallon to put, like, I don't know, maybe 4 ounces in there. This is all anybody had. I tried to find some stuff online. There's a company or a product by CRC. It's called Stay Lube. It's a SAE 140. And I could find it in 16 ounces. Well, it was the same price as this for a gallon, and they discontinued the size on CRC's website, and everybody was out of it. So, anyways, but I went ahead and already siliconed this on. I was going to fill it up. I was going to look up the spec. Well, the spec is you're supposed to fill it up to about right here for the oil level. It's supposed to cover this bottom gear. Some people say don't to come up here. Some people say to come up here. But my thought was, why don't I put this cover on like that? I open this up and I fill it to there. Doesn't that make more sense to where I could get a syringe in there with a little tube and I could suck the fluid out and I could do a fluid change really easy by sucking the fluid out when it's warm outside or after I've been using it, and then I could just put fluid in there. So I guess if somebody knows, is it supposed to go like this, like it was on my machine? Or is it supposed to be like that and somebody put it on my machine wrong? I don't know. I'm putting it on like this. So what I'm going to do is, let's get you guys back over here maybe. Hopefully you can kind of see that. There's not a real good place to put you that you're not like directly in the way. But my thought is I'm going to go ahead and put fluid in this. I kind of want to see, this is what came out of it. It's awfully thick. I mean, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so the new stuff is thinner than the old stuff. I was worried that an SAE 140 was going to be entirely too thick, but I don't think so. It's thinner than what came out of it. Yes, it's thinner than what came out of it. So yeah, I don't see how that's going to be a problem if I put that cover on the bottom. And use that to do a fluid change. I mean, I could look down in there and see if fluid's in it. I'm trying to envision how much it's going to cover the gear. This could take a little more. And as long as that plug doesn't leak, I guess. And yes, you could probably pull fluid out of it and measure the fluid that comes out of it, but why not make it simpler? Alright, it's almost filled up to the edge. It's just barely covering the gears, and it's not quite up to that upper bevel there. So, but it is almost to the edge. I've got maybe 3/16, eighth inch or 3/16 before I get to the edge right there. I'll wipe my fingers. I'm going to try to even out my silicone, make sure I've got enough silicone all the way around it. All looks good. Alright. I'm putting my cover on upside down. I'm putting my plug down at the bottom. I don't care how it came. And I'd probably recommend cleaning your saw before you take it apart. I kind of took it apart on a whim, and I took it apart on a whim. Alright, let's start this screw in there maybe. So we can line it up. So it goes straight on. Don't smear a lot of silicone or anything. I'll have to put my blade back on, I guess, to see if we can cut something. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'll probably start it up laying down, but I don't want to stand it up. I want my silicone to at least maybe give it a day to try to dry before I get oil on it. Should we try it to see? Let's try it, right? All it can do is make it not seal and we have to reseal it. Well, it'd help if I had it plugged in. I had to plug in my carbide saw to finish a project I was working on when this died. Yay, hooray. Alright, well, I'm going to check my belt adjustment, and I am going to move it up one speed, because since I read my owner's manual, I figured out that I need to jump it up one speed. But anyways, hopefully this little video helps. At least for anything, it might tell you what's inside of that gearbox. Mine, it was actually cutting through a piece of pipe, and then it would stall, and then it would start up and stall. Well, the keyway was working its way out. When I took that cover off, the keyway was sitting inside of the gear, and that shaft started slipping out. So anyways, and I'm gonna have to look for another back cover, because it's actually cut mine. You know, I never lifted up very high, so I didn't see it with that pulley working its way off back there. It actually cut my cover from here all the way down. So my cover is two-piece. I don't know if you can see that. It's dark in here, but anyways, hopefully it helps. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.